Everybody, it's Monday, February 7th. I'm in my van. Just woke up not too long ago. and you know, van life's not easy. Not when you're a mold avoider. I have people out here that have said to me, "Oh, it's like that woman in Nomad Land." No, it's not. I cannot go to a laundromat. I could never work in an Amazon warehouse. I can't sit at a campfire with a bunch of strangers that are wearing clothes that are coated in, dryer sheets, and they could possibly be wearing cologne or, have scented shampoo. Or I can't do any of the stuff that the woman in that movie did. I just recently watched it myself, and so you know, to compare mold avoidance in a van to that movie is no. It's just no. It's nothing like it. The challenges that I face on a daily basis are just so above and beyond anything that woman has to go through. There's no way that I couldn't get on a bus either. That's another thing. She got on a bus and went to her sister's. I couldn't get on a bus. I have been on a train. I have been on an airplane. The airplane was excruciating. The train wasn't too bad, but a bus is an absolute no. There's no way. The reason I was able to go on the train is because they have an air filtration system. Amtrak does now, since COVID. And so that actually was doable for me. The plane was, I got so sick on the plane. I literally thought I was going to die before we landed. So, and it was only a 45-minute flight. So, um, I'm just, this is it, right? This is where the rubber meets the road. When I'm out here in the desert by myself, um, you know, I have access to an apartment where I can take a shower and I can use, the sink and the um refrigerator and things like that. And I didn't go there yesterday because the day before when I went there, I felt terrible when I left. So, and I think that was my fault too. I think because I stored that evil sleeping bag. I had it in a garbage bag at that apartment, and I just, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to be punished for trying to buy a sleeping bag that was warm. I finally did just threw it in the dumpster because I tried to give it to my friend and she ended up bringing it. It was just a disaster. So I threw it away, and not happy with Teton about that because I asked them if I could return it, and they said that they would send me a label so that I could return it, and they never did. So yeah, that really bothers me because this is the sleeping bag that I have right now, this 0 degree sleeping bag from Teton. It has no flame retardants on it, and it apparently did have waterproofing agents on it when I got it, because it did bother me a bit. But the other sleeping bag that I bought from them, they said it didn't have flame retardants on it, and I'm pretty sure it did, because I don't know. I just, whatever was on it, flame retardant, waterproofing, it was so toxic that not only did it make me sick, but it ruined all my clothes, and now I think has ruined that apartment. So I just I have to work on my heart, because I get angry, right? And I could stew about this and have a miserable heart all day long about those bastards at Teton and da 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 da. And it's like, no, Michelle, they're doing the best they can. They gave you the best information that they had. Yeah, somewhere along the line they didn't send you the return label or whatever. Um, but it's also extremely difficult because I have to drive where the post office is in Death Valley is about an hour and a half from where my campsite is. And then it's another hour and 20 minutes from there to Pahrump. So I'm just extremely isolated out here. So everything takes a lot of doing, but that's not the people at Teton's fault. You know what I mean? So it's just hard. So if you're a praying person, I just ask you to pray because, um, you know, I just think it says an awful lot, and not in a good way, about our society, about the fact that, I was a teacher. I worked 2 jobs. I raised my kids. I did the best I could. I moved in with my dad to take care of him when he was old. Like, I mean, that was what it was. But the thing is that I tried. I wasn't. It wasn't like, from 1991 on, I was sober. And it's not like I was out there lying, cheating, and stealing and being a horrible person, right? I was a pretty good person. I paid my taxes. I worked. I was a teacher. I loved my kids that I taught. And I just think that it's sad that, because I'm sick and I'm weak now, that I'm worth absolutely nothing to society, that, Medicaid and Medicare can't or won't help me. I don't have Medicaid anymore, but like Medicare, I keep getting this bill from when I had to go to the emergency room when I had COVID. And I know that it's $100 copay when you have Medicare to go to the emergency room. And the first time I went, they didn't offer me the monoclonal antibodies. So I have to pay the copay twice. And then I don't think Medicare didn't cover the monoclonal antibodies. So now I have a big hospital bill on top of everything else that is wrong in my life and difficult in my life. And yes, I got money from my house, but I'm in debt already for more than what I got. And so I have to make some tough choices, about what I'm going to do. And in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out a way that I can somehow work again, And so here's what it is that I can't do it. There is no way, right? Even this van, right? I can't. Every time I've talked about it in this video over and over about how I need to wipe down this van. Every time I'll get like just a bucket of warm soapy water and a cloth, and I start to wipe. I just can't. Like I don't have that many spoons. That's something that canaries talk about, is that you only get a certain amount of spoons per day, and when they're gone, they're gone. And so, the reason I'm so blah today is because, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I did my camp hosting duties, and, I'm grateful that I'm able to do them, because what I'm earning, basically, I'm earning my keep is what I'm doing, right? I'm earning my camping spot, and I'm earning my shower, and I'm earning my, my access to the refrigerator and the kitchen and whatnot. That's my payment for what I do those 3 days. And it's well worth it. For me, it's definitely well worth it, and I'm not looking forward to, when I leave here, whenever that is, then I'm back to, you feel like you're on the run, right? You don't have a home. You don't have one spot. I had in Montana, I had a spot in the summer that was on BLM land that sort of felt like home, there were no people around. So I set up my campsite, and when I would go to town, I would leave everything, and I would come back, and I would say to the empty woods, honey, I'm home. Like, because that was my home, this little, campsite in the wilderness. And, but it's just sad. And I talked about it in my last video about that woman who asked to have medically induced suicide to end her life because she couldn't find safe housing. And there's so much more to it than just the chemicals. I mean, obviously chemicals are huge, but mold, the way houses are built in the United States, well, I don't even know, maybe around the world. The problem is that, most houses are full of mold. So, and I'll know within seconds if some place has mold. The apartment that I use out here in Death Valley, it was built in, I want to say, the 60s. It's made of brick, and there is drywall in it. But it doesn't rain here, so even if there was a roof leak, it probably wouldn't cause mold in it. If there were, since it's a government apartment, it was maintained pretty well. So if there were plumbing leaks, I'm sure they fixed them. So the apartment, I don't detect mold there at all. That's not, that's not something that's available to somebody unless they're a federal employee. But that shows me that there is hope, that there is, some housing out there somewhere that I may be able to tolerate. The question would be for me affording it on Social Security disability. It's low income, so of course I would qualify to go into some of that low income housing. Unfortunately, all of that housing is, most of it, 99%, is moldy. And then on top of that, you have a whole bunch of other people living there, in those apartment buildings that you can't control. And if anybody's ever used a Glade plug-in somewhere, and that stuff penetrates. It penetrates the walls. It penetrates everything. And it's very toxic. And it's toxic for everyone, deadly for me. So I guess I just am. What happens when I wake up in the morning is immediately I wake up with almost like a sense of dread. Like, oh my God, I live in a van. I don't have a house. Where am I going? What am I going to do when I get old? All this stuff goes through my head, and then sometimes a wave of sadness will wash over me because it was like, oh, I had it made. I had a cute little cottage in the mountains, which was literally what I had always dreamed of. A cute little cottage in the mountains. It was very affordable. In a few years, my brother and I had the agreement. And if in a couple of years, I would have owned it outright. It would have been mine. I could have lived there till I died. Oh, but one little thing, it was killing me, and and the houses on either side were moldy too. So even if I would have remediated my house, I can't control what's, 25 feet on either side of me. The houses were very close. So, and I couldn't control their dryer vents and their, so it's just, I have to keep in mind that I'm doing the best that I can. I'm literally just trying to survive, literally from day to day, just trying to get myself into clean air, without toxins in it, so that I can breathe, so that I can think. And I just, in the very beginning, when I was super, super sick, I had lowered the bar to, okay, if I can breathe today, it's a good day, and now my body's healed a bit. And it's just, and that's great. That's a very low bar. If I can breathe today, it's a good day. But the problem is that almost a year later, like 10 months later, I'm tired. It's tiring, literally fighting for every day to survive. It's very tiring. And there's so much more that I'd like to do, but I can't because I run out of energy. And today I'm exhausted. Like, I don't think I'm going to do much. I think I'm just going to lay in the van today because, I did a lot on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm just exhausted, I didn't even shower last night because I was too tired to drive up there and go into the apartment and shower and do all that, which is really bad for a mold avoider because toxins come out of our bodies too, so I just thought I would make a video from the van in Death Valley. Maybe I'll try to make one later outdoors so that you guys can actually see how beautiful it is here. And it is beautiful. It really is. But there's just so much to think about every day when I get up. It's not easy. It's not Instagram van life, that's for sure. All right, thanks.